unfavorable rulings against the executive. But former Chief Justice David Maraga, while exiting office, sought to turn the tables on President Kenyatta. In a year that has seen most rulings go against the executive, KTN's Daniel Karuki looks at the judiciary's highs and lows in 2021, as all eyes remain on the judiciary as Kenya heads to general election in 2022.
Three arms of the government. Judiciary has been a center of focus for a while now, having had a change of guard. The third arm of the government has been left with a protracted battle in different fronts. The smearing conflict between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the judiciary over the supremacy of the constitution witnessed in 2020 replicated once again, bursting into the open in 2021.
I, Martha Karambu Kome, Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya.
A new Chief Justice, Martha Koome, was sworn in after a vigorous process that saw over 10 people apply for the job. But the war pitting the executive and the judiciary escalated even further in 2021. For nearly 2 years, President Uhuru Kenyatta declined to appoint 41 judges to 3 different courts, with a stalemate that saw a back and forth between the executive and the judiciary.
I was also not prepared for a situation whereby we say that we don't go for the appointments and the swearing in, considering the suffering they've gone through already. We had to mitigate that.
However, with the entry of Martha Koome as the CJ, 34 judges were eventually appointed by President Kenyatta. The fate of the remaining 6 in a limbo.
I too took an oath to both the letter and the spirit of the law, and it is not open to me to turn a blind eye to reports of our state organs.
A petition was filed to compel the president to appoint the remaining judges. To date, the judges are yet to be appointed despite numerous orders.
All persons recommended by the JSC and as directed by the Constitution must be appointed as judges.
It is my prayer and belief that the remaining 4 nominated colleagues will join us soon.
4 judges of the Court of Appeal must be gazetted and sworn in pronto.
The executive has been on the receiving end of a disobedience of numerous court orders. A dramatic exchange between the executive and the judiciary has been on the numerous court orders in favor of firebrand lawyer Miguna. Orders for government to facilitate his return to the country have been disregarded by the state. Miguna also moved to court seeking an order to have the red alerts against him lifted, with the government saying there was no red alerts issued.
We underscore the need for the government of the Republic of Kenya to obey court orders, to remove the red alerts, and ensure that Miguna is given unrestricted entry back to his home.
We are here to assure Kenyans that we will not relent in our defense for the upholding the respect for the rights of all Kenyans.
The president once again on the spot following the nullification of Executive Order number 1 of 2020 that placed the Judicial Service Commission, the Public Service Commission, the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights, and the Independent Election Boundaries Commission, IEBC, among other institutions, under the control of the executive. President Uhuru Kenyatta and the judiciary were yet again at loggerheads after the head of state officially oversaw the takeover of the Kenya Meat Commission, KMC, from the Ministry of Agriculture to the Ministry of Defense. This happening despite a court order halting the transfer. Late in May 2021, the High Court ruled that appointment of 128 parastatal heads in 2018 was unconstitutional. A 3-judge bench of the High Court declared that the appointments, which featured key political losers and former government officials, were made in an opaque manner, therefore invalidating them.
A declaration is hereby made that the entire unconstitutional change process promoted by the Steering Committee on the Implementation of the Building Bridges to a United Kenya Task Force report is unconstitutional, null and void.
But it is the scathing ruling on the Building Bridges Initiative, BBI, by the High Court and Court of Appeal that will remain in the history of the judiciary in 2021. 5 High Court judges blocked a government-backed plan to make fundamental changes to the Constitution, with the judgment arguably the most significant ruling since President Kenyatta's election win nullification. It is this ruling that could see the relations between the 2 arms of the government now get more frosty, with the president accusing the judiciary of subverting the will of the people.
From the nullification of a presidential election in 2017 to an attempt to stop the will of the people as expressed through the BBI, the judiciary has indeed tested our constitutional limits.
The judiciary has long been marred by claims of corruption. High Court Judge said Chitembwe is facing graft labelled against him by the former Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko through a series of audio and video recordings. Chitembwe at the center of a storm in the judiciary after petitions were filed questioning his integrity. Justice Chitembwe has since downplayed them. However, the Chief Justice says all graft allegations will be investigated.
When I saw those videos in July, I called him. Mheshimiwa, why did you came to record me? He said, no, yo, wachana na hizo, I think it was Mwajirani and his people.
The judiciary will continue to work with all partners and other agencies to identify, expose, and stem out culprits or entire cartels of corruption.
The judiciary lost about 800 million shillings in the 3.66 trillion shillings budget read in Parliament on June 2021 by National Treasury CS Ukuriatani. It was allocated 17.5 billion shillings in the 2021-2022 financial year, a marginal decline from 18 billion shillings allocated in the 2020-2021 financial year. The budget shortfall leaving judiciary operations affected. As the country gears to an electioneering period, the judiciary will be on Kenya's watch list, and with the frosty relations between the two arms of the government, how the new Chief Justice will ensure smooth relations between the executive and the judiciary and the election petitions. Daniel Kariuki,